my wife been using the iPhone 15, and I've been using it respectively for like a couple of weeks now, ever since we got it on September 22nd. And I have a lot of mixed thoughts on this phone. And by the end of the video, make sure you stay tuned. I'm gonna give you guys a decision on my opinion if you guys should keep this phone, or should you return this phone if you already get it, or should you upgrade from your iPhone 14. It's an interesting in between, complicated annoyance of a overstanding of this phone, if I'm trying to put it in context, Tab Nation. Stay tuned. Alright, Tab Nation, we're back. What I'm basically trying to talk about is the iPhone 15, right? I'm going to give you some breakdowns of why I think you should take this phone over the 14, or you should keep your 14. I've been using it for a good little while now. It's an uppity phone, Tab Nation. Like, it's an iPhone, right? I'm not going to lie. It's an iPhone, it's uppity. Dope. What it can do, versus what it can't do, because you know it's an iPhone. And as I said, I keep repeating it's a 15. And if you haven't seen the iPhone 15 Pro Max review that I did, make sure you hit one of you're probably going to see the link in my left or my right. Hit that link, go check it out. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daniel Tech Reviews. I review tech. You know what I'm saying? Give you my personal opinion. I actually buy the devices them and review them and give you my personal opinion, and if you want to get it for yourself. No, I'm going to give you a breakdown. I personally am a power user. Power user meaning I love tech. I love phones. I love stuff like that. So my purpose for a phone going to be very different for your purpose for a phone. I'm going to be honest with you. So everything that I tell you about this phone today will be blatantly 100% my opinions only, and then you can make your decision. And as I said before, I'm a power user. So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Tab Nation, this big debate over the iPhones and like phones nowadays, it's really a big difference between a person who is an average consumer versus a person who is a power user or a gamer, which a gamer will still fall under the context of a power user. So my purpose of an iPhone, or a gamer purpose of an iPhone, versus a regular day-to-day life person who just wanna scroll through social media, you just wanna check the weather, you wanna just iMessage, you wanna FaceTime. For an average user, this is a great phone. I'm gonna be honest. So does the iPhone 14. We're gonna get into that later down in the video. We don't want to be all over the place with the video. So guess what we're gonna start? We're gonna start with the build of the iPhone 15, the color, in my opinion, which one is the best color, and the feel of the iPhone 15. So we're gonna jump into the build. The build of the iPhone 15, I'm not gonna lie, I love the build way more better than the iPhone 14. No jokes. This shit feels so fucking good in the hands, Tab Nation. Me Jesus, like the iPhone 15, I don't know, it almost feels as better or as close as my 14 Pro Max. Not my bro, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is so close to the 14 Pro Max, I keep messing up. But yeah, this is my 15 Pro Max, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, like the 15, it feels very close in terms of like the feel of the phone, right? So if you like aesthetics, the way how things feel, like you'll definitely like the iPhone 15 over the 14 for sure, because the 14 and the previous like regular iPhones were normally like glass. So glass meaning like you could actually see like your reflection in it and stuff. As you can see, the 15 is a more matte finish, and it has a subtle feel to it. Like if you go into one of the Apple stores, or if you have a friend who has the 15, or you have the 15 yourself and you feel it, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. It has this nice uppity feeling. So that would be a reason if you want to upgrade, if you're into stuff like that. Another reason I would say a person can upgrade to the 15, that's before we even get into the specs and what I think about the phone overall. Another reason I would say you guys could upgrade, in my personal opinion, is this color, bro. This color, Tab Nation, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the best color iPhone has dropped in a phone in years. This pink is the most popular color in my opinion, bro. I swear to God, if Apple had put this pink in the iPhone 15 Pro Max, because pink is my favorite color, and if they had put that in the 15 Pro Max, I swear to God, I'd probably go for the pink. My favorite iPhones are either the gold or the pink or black. I like black occasionally because black goes with anything, and I like that type of style, that aesthetic. I like black. But bro, I'm telling you, if you want to upgrade just for the color, you will not go wrong with pink. I would recommend the pink. The rest of the colors, to me personally, looks fucking bland. I don't like how the rest of the iPhones look. This year, basically, the pink is the one that stands out the most. With both, and listen how interesting this is. With both I keep saying the 14 Pro Max. Apple, please kind of change up the design a little bit. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Just so I don't keep confusing myself with my audience. But yeah, the 15 versus the 15 Pro Max and the regular 15s, the pink. If you go with the 15, I'll go personally with the pink color. It's uppity. Can't go wrong. As I said, the build, it feels uppity in the hands. It feels very nice. It feels smooth. My one issue with an iPhone 15, right? And obviously, I would never get the 15 Plus. I would be a fucking idiot if I should. Like, bro, you're a dummy. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a dummy if you buy the 15 Plus. Do not buy the 15 Plus, in my opinion. I personally don't like a smaller phone. Why? Because it's just too small. I've gotten so used to the bigger display, the 6.7 inch display, which we're going to get into the iPhone 15 display soon. I'm so into the bigger display that for me personally, I have like relatively longer, like I don't have a big hand, but I have longer fingernails, or longer fingers. Longer fingernails. I have longer fingers, so my fingers tend to can stretch to each corner of the bigger screen. And for me personally, it just feel like I'm holding a goddamn 2008 smartphone in my hand when I'm holding like Apple average lineup, which is the 15 or the 14. It's just too small for me personally. No, we're gonna get into the display. So the iPhone 15 is housing the Super HDR Retina. It's not as high res as the 15 Pro Max, but it's a display that's enough, and I'm gonna say it again, it's enough for an average consumer. I'm a power user, so a 15 Pro Max display for me is just more uppity. But as I said, as a person who just regularly uses their phone, you don't really play games, you don't fucking shoot videos and stuff, a 6.1 inch display, OLED, and it's OLED technology, so you're getting deeper blacks, deeper red, deeper colors across the board. You will be okay with an iPhone 15 6.1 display. It's a big display when you look at the screen itself, because obviously they kind of like small, they kind of like pinch down the bezels a little bit. The bezels are not that, secluded in the screen. Now you got that dynamic island, you got a little bit more screen estate. So having a 6.1 inch display is uppity. It's a bright ass display this year. So Apple basically upgraded all their 15 lineup from the 15 go up to the 15 Pro Max to 2000 nits of brightness. As Flassicato would say, that's a lot of nittage. You dig? So that's uppity and great for a person who uses their phone a lot outside. Like if you're an outdoor user, you're outdoor a lot and you use your phone, you will not worry if the sun is shining directly on your iPhone 15. You should be able to see your phone comfortably fine in any basically weather condition, to be honest. Like it's a dope uppity display. As I said, it's running the OLED technology. They call it ProMotion. And Is it ProMotion? I don't want to get my no, I get my goddamn shit wrong. But yeah, it's running OLED, so it's OLED technology. As I said, you have a brighter, sharper display, shows better color, better dynamic range. Everything is way better. Now for the processor, it's the A16 Bionic chip. And fun fact, the A16 Bionic chip, that was the chip that was running in the iPhone 14 Pros last year. So you're basically getting like an upgraded chip. So it's like an older chip from their best flagship phone in their newer average phones, basically, if that makes sense. It's similar to the iPhone 14 when the iPhone 14s had the 13 Pro Max A15 Bionic chip into that, which is dope. I'm not gonna lie. For performance, you're not gonna go wrong with performance at all. Like, it's a uppity performing phone. You dig? Because it's, as I said, it's housing the chip from the 14 Pro Max, which that was a fucking uppity beast in a phone. Just by using it, just scrolling, going through. So even the 15 Pro Max has the 120 hertz screen, which basically your screen moves a bit faster, smoother when you're scrolling. But in my opinion, as an average user, you will not see a difference being an average user. And as I said, let me just give you guys a breakdown, Tab Nation. And remember, please subscribe, because we're getting better at this every single day. I love tech, and we're doing this together. And as I said, I want to always make sure I buy my own stuff so I can give you my own opinion, so you can have your own thought process of if you should get this for yourself. I'm going to give you guys a breakdown again, Tab Nation. When you're buying a phone, you want to buy a phone based on your needs. Take for me personally. I buy phones based on how I'm going to use that phone. Like, I have a Spanish bro, Gabriel Unseen. He always say, yo, Slime, you use the shit out of your phone. He's not lying. I use the crap out of my phone. Like, when I buy phones, I use it. I take pictures, I take videos, I play games from time to time. Just if I'm testing a chip, but most of the pictures, videos, I've been doing a lot of social media stuff. I do a lot of posting. I run the battery up. Like, I do delivery, right? I do delivery as part of my business. And this phone, the screen, the display never turns off. Like, that's how much of a power hungry user I am. You, in other words, you probably work at Lowe's, Home Depot, Grace Kennedy in Jamaica, at a pharmacy. You're probably a regular person who just do regular stuff with your phone. You don't need all of this power. I'm being honest with you. You don't need to run down a big bad and greatness like a person like me or a person who play game. Like, this phone really is for a gamer. This phone really is for a person who want to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And you'll do anything you want on this phone, I promise you. And you will not be missing anything that the 15 Pro Max has to offer, unless you want the 14 Pro Max. Then that will still be a great deal over the 15. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to get down into that later on. I'm going to tell you a little bit why the 14 Pro Max would be even a better option than the 15. But we're talking about the 15 right now. So we'll cover the build and the dimensions of the phone. We'll cover the display. We'll cover the processor. You know, it's an A16 Bionic chip running. And it's the chip from last year's iPhone 14 Pros that's running it. So it's a great chip. We're gonna jump over to the battery. Now, me personally, as I said, I haven't been using the phone for a long time. This is my wife's phone, but what I can tell you is, right, based on her usage, even though she killed the phone a lot, she kills the phone a lot, but for an average user, you will not complain about the battery. A person who, as I said, you scroll through your social media from time to time. So you get up, right? You go to work, you get up, you charge your phone to 100%. You get up, you make some breakfast, this, that, the third. You maybe watch a little bit of foolishness on the TV. Boom. You have to go to work within 15 minutes. Your battery at 88%. Just for example, your 15 is at 88%. You go to work, you're working for maybe, say, 6.5 hours. You don't get off work until you leave. You go to work around 8. You get off work till like 2:30, 3 o'clock. By 2:30, 3 o'clock, I know you're not gonna be on your phone for the entire time of the of work, right? So by the time you should be out of work, you'll happily have at least 70% left, which is great for an average user. That's uppity. For me personally, that shit gonna be finished in literally probably the next 2 or 3 hours, because remember, Tab Nation, I'm a power user. And that's why I feel like most YouTubers should give the difference. Like, stop telling fucking people to go buy the latest and the greatest if they don't really want to. If you really want to, go get it. But if you're a person who's just average and you want to know what's best for you, you don't need to follow a power user and get the biggest, because you're going to get all the same features, all the same stuff in a much smaller and cheaper package. Why I said cheaper like this, because come on, Apple selling this for like $800, and honestly, you do have Android phones out there that's way better than iPhones, bro. Because we all know iMessage and FaceTime, all of that, that's what's really saving iPhones. But you have better options out there for in terms of pricing. But for a person who want to jump into the Apple ecosystem, you can't go wrong with this phone as an average user. So we covered battery. Battery is uppity. Now for this Apple, I personally don't like this. Why I don't like it, I used to love it before, obviously, because there were no action button. But now, ever since y'all released the action button, Apple, why you guys don't give the people who just want to use their phone regularly, right? Okay, cool, they're going to use their phone regularly. Give the people the action button as well. Bumbleclot, man. Me Jesus. Give them the Apple button. The Apple button. Give them the action button. You dig? Tab Nation, be honest. If you have the 15, wouldn't you like to have that little cool action button? A smaller phone, and it's so much easier to reach. I would personally give you the action button. You guys basically, you still have the mute switcher, which is cool. It's uppity, but when you include something new in your biggest and latest device, and you give your older device that's supposed to be new with this device, you kind of make people feel left out, and most people nowadays don't like to feel left out. So there's not much difference when it come on to this right here, the mute switcher. You don't get the action button, you get the regular mute switcher. No, it's the for the camera. We're gonna jump onto the camera. The camera is a dual lenses. Dual basically means you get 2 lenses on the back versus 3 lenses. And don't worry, we have a comparison video to see which one is best. So we're gonna go power user versus average user. And don't get me wrong, if you're a power user too, if you want a smaller phone, you kind of can't go wrong. This is if you just want ultimate power versus power. So look out for that comparison video where I'm basically break down the best on each devices and then compare them, and then you guys can decide which one to get if you haven't gotten your new iPhones as yet. So as I said, it's not a bad phone, Tab Nation. It's just that we know Apple can do so much more, right? But yeah, dual is great. Take great pictures. Point and shoot, uppity. Point and shoot basically meaning you just take the camera out, turn it on, pop. Take it out, pop, 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 pop. You dig what I'm saying? It's uppity. You can't go wrong with point and shoot cameras. It's a great camera taking phone. I love it. The Apple just are the best in my opinion with taking photos. So you get, as I said, you get 2 cameras. You can zoom into one, and you can take like regular still photos. You can take portrait photos. You can take cinematic videos, which basically make the background a bit blurry. You can do a lot, as I said, on a iPhone 15, because it's a iPhone, Tab Nation. It's a iPhone. No, for the dynamic island, this year you get dynamic island. Last year, for the iPhone 14 lineup, you did not get dynamic island. We don't know why, but that's just Apple. Apple finally decided to say, hey, why not make all iPhones have the dynamic island, even though you could have it last year. But yeah, you have the dynamic island now, which is dope to have on the regular iPhone, so you don't feel as left out that people as the pro iPhone is better than you. No, they're not better than you, Tab Nation. It's just that that's what these phone companies do. They'll do stuff, they'll tease you with certain shit, and then give it to you next year just because they wanted to spend that extra money. So they could have been give you the dynamic island last year. I'm gonna be honest about that, but It's great to see that they have it on the new devices this year. So if you want to upgrade from the 14 to the 15, I would not say the dynamic island is a steal or it's a big reason why you should upgrade. But if you do upgrade to it and you use the dynamic island, I will say it's satisfying. Because I personally love the dynamic island, especially when I'm doing deliveries and stuff like that. It's very useful for me personally and convenient. So if you're a person who believe a lot in convenience and you like to be convenient, a dynamic island on a 50 would not be bad. As you can see, you can use it to play music, you can use it to go into the maps, find the directions. Basically similar to the 15 Pro. Now, for the display screen, the way how you scroll and stuff, as you can see where I'm showing you, it operates like any other smooth iPhones from iPhone 6 come all the way up. iPhones in general are just always smooth. It just, as I said, you have the upgraded display in the 15 Pros and the 14 Pros and all the way back to the 13 Pros where you have a 120 Hz screen, which it just basically makes the refresh rate of the screen goes up and down extremely fast. So you get better smoothness of the display while you're scrolling, going through your apps and stuff like that. Now, for gaming on the 15, you're not going to be missing out a lot. Maybe a bigger display, yes, because people like to play games on a much bigger, brighter, most contrastive, vibesy, dynamic display. But because of the iPhone, because of the A16 Bionic chip from last year in the Pro phones, you still have a beast in your hands to play game. As you can see what I'm showing on the screen right now, you have a beast in the hands no matter what, Tab Nation. You dig what I'm saying? Dope phone. Now, we're going to jump down into the conclusion of the phone. Now, should you get an iPhone 15? And I have this new segment that I call it the Mid-Jesus Meter. So, the Mid-Jesus Meter basically going to rank each phone based on the category. Right? And I'm going to give you my opinion on if you should upgrade to the 15 or you should stay with your 14. So, my opinion is, for the Mid-Jesus Meter, I'm going to give this phone, I'm going to rank this phone on the Mid-Jesus Meter a solid 6-7 on the Mid-Jesus Meter. 6 or 7. You know what? I'm going to give it a 7. This is the reason why I give it a 7, Tab Nation. It's not much different from the iPhone 14. You dig? If you're a person looking for something different, it's not much different. No, don't get me wrong. This phone, every iPhone to me is a solid 10. Overall, my overall rating, solid 10. But because we know Apple can do more, and this is just not enough for a person to upgrade, I will say do not upgrade from your fucking iPhone 14 to the 15. Get the 14 Pro Max, get the 13 Pro Max, and I guarantee you it's going to be way better than the 15. Even though the 15 came out this year, don't follow what Apple does in terms of like the brand new phone every year, Tab Nation. Trust me on that. You have iPhones that came out like 2-3 years ago that still will perform better than even your latest iPhones. A lot of people didn't tell you that secret, don't it? But yeah. Don't get the iPhone 15. My girl, she just wanted the 15, but she wanted a pink phone because I ain't gonna lie, the color is it's so beautiful. Jesus, it's such a nice color. I ain't gonna lie, it's a dope color. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you're upgrading to the 15 just for the color, man, fucking shoot yourself. God, not like that. Not like shoot yourself, like figuratively speaking. Jesus Christ, people take everything, what you call it? So literal, not like literal shoot yourself, but you know what I mean, like, yeah, get it. If you want to get it for the color, get it. You can't go wrong with the color. It's a beautiful phone, and it's a very nice, uppity, sleek feeling phone. And as I said, the iPhone 15, great phone. Look out for the comparison video, and I have a lot of videos coming soon when I'm going to have some tips and tricks to show you. Anything that I didn't cover, I apologize. I just really want to get this video out the way. If anything that you see that I didn't cover, comment it down below, because I'm going to go 1 month after with both phones and tell you what's on my iPhone 15 Pro Max very soon Please subscribe, Tab Nation. I love you guys. Keep it uppity. And thanks for passing by with the Daniel Tech Reviews. Me Jesus.